Hey Virgos, this is Perigaea Tarot. I'm here to do your reading for today. So let's ask the universe, unless we can think of something else we'd rather. Go ahead and guys, if you want me to ask different things, comment down below and I will do that. Anyways, so we're going to ask the universe how your person is feeling and in this love relationship between the two of you, and what actions they will be taking. And so if you guys also, if you want to enter to win a free personal reading, just go ahead and hit like and subscribe, and then comment down below, I am loved. And if you guys want to gain access to the extended reading after this, as well as every extended reading that comes after every single free reading, so that's about 25 per month, just hit join and then choose the Virgo Bombshell membership. All right, so universe, the person on my Virgo's mind, how do they feel towards Virgo? And what will be their next actions towards Virgo? Oh yeah, they're longing for you, but they're feeling emotionally unstable about this. Or they're losing control. They start to feel a little bit better when they stop fighting. Either when they stop fighting for the situation and trying and hoping, or when they stop fighting and resisting against it, and when they just kind of go with it. Even if they don't appear to be taking action right now, they are still invested. I feel like what's happening is that they are being purged of subconscious wounds and subconscious wounds and habits and coping mechanisms that are in the way of a union between the two of you. And so, if you keep, at least for some of you, if you keep investing, then it will, for some of you, pan out into a situation where the two of you are able to unite. With the Seven of Swords in the reverse, this is somebody who is becoming aware of their own BS. It's like even their own coping mechanisms are not convincing them anymore. And because they're not able to lose themselves in them, they're not really working. Because there isn't that sense of disassociation from reality, perhaps disassociation from their fears or their feelings. Okay, so they are, I think that this is somebody who is a work in progress. They're seeing that they are a work in progress, and they're understanding that, and they're not necessarily feeling, inadequate. It's like they're gaining peace about the fact that they need to work on themselves. Ooh, Hierophant. I feel like this is someone being influenced by a strong spiritual or religious or both influence. And this is somebody wanting to make things right with the universe, with karma. They're wanting to get back on course with their life. They're wanting to get themselves back into a place where their karma is good, where their life is healthy. And I think they're realizing that they can't dance around it. They just have to put in the work. Seven of Pentacles, definitely, you're putting in the work. You're sowing the seeds, you're pruning everything. Oh, and there you are, Hermit. Yeah, and this person is afraid. They're worried that they're not going to be able to have their 10 of Cups with you, because they took too long, maybe because there was some level of trickery or dishonesty. That's their fear, but they certainly are hoping that they can. But yeah, this is somebody who is putting in the work, and they're doing it the old-fashioned way. Like, they're not cutting corners. They're not trying to cheat or, find an easier way or make it somebody else's fault. And I feel like that is possibly part of this person's old coping mechanisms, is trying to deflect the blame onto somebody else, which is essentially trying to deflect the work onto somebody else. The things that improve and enlighten our self-esteem and our self-worth and our self-value are things that often require work and effort. And when we don't put in the effort, but we want the benefits, often what people will do that can give them an artificial sense of the benefits is they project blame, or they project wrong, or they project shame or negativity onto somebody else, insinuating that it is someone else's fault and that it is someone else's responsibility, so that they can feel better, and delude themselves not only about what they've done, but also about who they are and where they stand. because they're trying to gain benefits without working for it. And this is somebody, you know, coming to a place where they're seeing the wrong in that, and they're putting in the work the old-fashioned way. Yeah, I think this is somebody who understands that if they want to put in, if they want to be with you, they need to do things the right way. They can't cheat, they can't lie, they can't side, you know, they can't have shortcuts, they can't do any of those things. And I would say that this person, yeah, they're seeing things from a new perspective. Not in a procrastinating way necessarily, but I feel like this is also, if there is a delay at the moment, this is why. It's because this person is maturing and they're changing, but it's good. And it's laying the groundwork, Seven of Pentacles, for something very good coming forth between the two of you, something very divine and beautiful. But yeah, this person is seeing that they need to not just be in their own self and in their own perspective, that is actually something that is harming them. You know, that childish, you know, that sort of childish impulse to want to just project all negativity out onto others is actually something that has caused him more problems than less. And it certainly stands in the way of real love. And it's like, this is somebody just growing up and realizing, I can't do that anymore. If I want to be with Virgo and I want it to work out, and if I want it to work out for the long run, which I definitely sense that they do, that I'm going to have to do things the right way. I'm going to have to be honest. You know, if I want somebody's trust, I'm going to have to be trustworthy, and there's no way around it. If I want someone, you know, to rely upon me and believe that I'm reliable and trustworthy, I have to actually be that. You know, I can't find a shortcut. So with the Temperance in the reverse, they definitely want to hurry things up. They definitely they're anxious in this situation. Also, there could be an issue with drink. This could be somebody who has an issue with that, and that's something that they're struggling with, because maybe that's a way that they have coped in the past. So I say that this could be somebody who's working their way out of this, but because it's in the reverse, they're not perfect, but you know, that it can be that way. But they're working hard is what I'm sensing. This is somebody who's working hard on that. Yeah. I feel like what this is saying is that it's somebody who is facing the emotional sort of demons that cause that. And so it's good because it is, yeah, and what came out a second ago was the Two of Swords. So this is somebody who, it's like, if they did have a problem with drink, it's because it allowed them to blind themselves and block things out, even block out their own heart, you know, with the hands crossed over the heart, to not have to think and feel, you know, and to just be in denial and disassociate from their emotions. And so that's what this person is coming into. They're coming into accepting and experiencing their emotions in a way that they can feel safe, and they can actually experience them and expect acceptance. And this is what can truly heal a person from avoidance, is opening up their emotions. And I mean, different people, I'll just say as a side note, different people can have avoidant tendencies for different reasons. Some people are motivated by things that you can't really heal from because it's not a wound, it's just about being a butthole. It's just about wanting to suck the life out of other people because it helps you out, and it's not about avoiding. But for some people it is. It's about a deep core wound of feeling like maybe that they weren't accepted by a main caretaker growing up, or just at all in their home environment, and they didn't feel safe expressing emotionally, and so they learned to disassociate, to make things other people's fault, to project the you know, girly kind of, you know, sad emotions or fragile emotions onto other people so that they wouldn't look bad, and that if their parent sort of looked down on them or scoffed at them when they would express those things, then it was somebody else, it wasn't them. You know, maybe they took on like tough guy personas, or, you know, rebel personas, or, you know, whatever that could be. But that is, I think this person is coming to see this. With the Hanged Man right next to this, I think they're seeing it. They're seeing it themselves. You know, it's not just people outside of them telling them. It's like they're seeing it themselves. So with the Seven of Swords in the reverse to the King of Pentacles in the reverse, this person might feel right now like they can't take action. they want to, but they can't take action because maybe they feel like they can't fully support a stable financial situation with the two of you. And they're trying to stabilize themselves. And so maybe right now, if there is a delay, it's because they feel like they can't. But with the Chariot in the reverse to the Two of Cups, this person definitely loves you and they want to move towards you, but they just feel like they need to deal with their stuff for a little bit. They're trying to fix themselves, you know, because they feel like they don't want to come back to you and like dish out the same BS to you, because they know that that would be so unacceptable after what they've already done. They're like, if I return to Virgo, I need to come back correct. Like I need to come back and so I need to be okay enough that I can, and stable enough that I can come back to Virgo and like really offer them something solid and good. Okay. So with the Seven of Swords in the reverse, the Ten of Swords in the reverse, this is somebody seeing their own stuff, seeing their own, understanding their own toxic mechanisms, and not wanting to engage in any more of them, because I think that they're worried that if they do try to come forward to you in that way, that it would be over for good, and they don't want that. Yeah, I think that if they try to, I think they understand that if they try to come back and sort of charm you in the way that they did in the past, but then end up acting non-committal and being avoidant again, that they would basically, it would be over forever. That they like literally only have one last chance with you, if that. So they cannot come back and do the same things that they've done in the past. With the Queen of Wands in the reverse to the Two of Wands in the reverse, there could also be a third party. If not, then it's just them seeing you as angry because they've taken too long to step up and step forward and take action towards them. But this is them also understanding that they've taken way too long, if there is a third party, to take, you know, to make a decision and to step away from somebody on your behalf. And they also understand that, you know, they need to do that. This is them understanding that very profoundly, that like they need to do that. All right, so what is the Seven of Pentacles to the Hierophant for my Virgo's person and how they feel towards Virgo? Yeah, so this person has is coming. It's like they understand their tendency to avoid, to be avoidant, to block and to push away. In fact, this could be somebody coming, watching videos, understanding why, you know, they're understanding their own cycles when it comes to relationships. They're like, what I'm getting about this is that this person is even like watching YouTube videos about being avoidant and how to stop being avoidant and what makes you avoidant, because they're understanding it keeps them in this place where they're like, sort of like, it's like this card, you know, represents what it is to be in a avoidant relationship where you're not quite single, but you are definitely withdrawn and lonely and solitary. You know, that you're in these relationships, but you never really get into a relationship because you never really can open up to somebody. And they are realizing how unhappy this makes them. And what they really, really want is they want a real commitment and a real Ace of Cups and Hierophant. They want a real deep emotional commitment with you. They want the real thing. Yeah. And so they're understanding that they need to come out of this place of silence and running from you. They don't have any more time to play around. And what was popping up a second ago was obsession. Where did it go? I think it's right here. Yeah, there it is. So emotional storm and obsession. So they're very much in turmoil. They might not fully understand the reason for their emotions, but they're understanding their tendencies towards avoidance. But yeah, they're feeling strong obsession for you, adoration, addiction, infatuation, very emotional. But they're having to face their demons and their fears to step over that wall to reach out to you, because they know that that's what is required to have real intimacy. Okay, universe, what can you tell me about this Hierophant perspective? So this is somebody they are definitely gaining a strong sense of improved perspective. They're clear. They have a clear headspace right now. They're feeling able to see the truth of how they act and why. And that's really wonderful. Yeah, again, clarity. They're seeing truth. They're setting intentions. They're being honest with themselves, and they're just seeing things very, very clearly right now. That's wonderful. But they are feeling some sorrow, loss and grief, depression. And I don't necessarily think that this is about you. This is about the stuff from their past that made them avoidant. They're having to face these old, deep grief and loss feelings that are deep within them, of maybe grieving the illusion of the love of a parent that they told themselves that they had, but they didn't. They were just enabling a delusion that made them feel safe, that they'd been holding on to since childhood, that resulted in them blaming themselves for a past wound, for those wounds that their parents might have inflicted upon them. They were, by blaming themselves, they were keeping themselves safe and convincing themselves that they were cared for. But now in their adult, and like, that's, it can take a long time to face things like that, because, our core familial relationships make up, they make up our entire world. And people, can sometimes think that it goes away when you're 18. Suddenly when you're 18, you're an adult, and you're out in the world, and you have everything that, you can do it all. No, people need their family till they die. People need to be bonded and attached and have tribe to look out for them and help them out till the day they die. So, it's scary to step away from that safety, even, when you're older. And honestly, just for those of you who might be relating to this message, the harder, the deeper and bigger that a wound is, often the longer it takes for a person to even realize it. Sometimes people don't heal to see a wound from their parents until they're 30, 40, because it was just too profound and life-altering for them to face it. Anyways, so what is this Hanged Man to the Temperance in the reverse? And what is this Ace of Cups? Yeah, this person is facing this pain. They're opening up. They're bravely, is what I'm seeing. They're bravely opening up to these deep wounds and this pain, and facing this. And I feel they're doing it for themselves, but I also feel like they're doing it for you, because they're motivated by the beauty of what they could have with you. And this is such a driving force for them, that they're willing to go into these black places of pain and sorrow, because they want intimacy with you. They want what they see they could have with you. They want this connection between the two of you so much that they're willing to face this pain. And they're finding it shocking. It's shocking to their system. It's shocking to, and so they, this is why they need a little bit of space and a little bit of forgiveness, is because, they're dealing with some hard stuff, is what I'm seeing here. Universe, what is this Temperance in the reverse? Yeah, this person is letting down their resistance, which could, be that, I feel like that's what this is. They're letting down resistance to their own emotions. They're letting down the wall of being able to show and feel and face who their true selves, their true emotional selves. That all the coping mechanisms that they had were walls of resistance, were walls of blocking it out, so that they didn't have to experience it, and so that nobody else could see it. And they're seeing that you are the one who accepted them, and you are the person who has let this happen. They're also, because of this, them opening up their heart and being able to be vulnerable and love themselves, they're also, that very thing is becoming their superpower, because it's enabling them to actively understand who is their enemy, and to just like bat out away these flies and these bats, of the third party influences, the toxic attachments and negative influences from peers. because it's their very heart that is their touchstone. You know, that's the thing, that feeling love for oneself is and feeling an acceptance for oneself is how we can tell who our enemies are, because our enemies are the ones that make us feel like we're stupid and we don't have the right to love ourselves. All right, so universe, oh, I'm going kind of long here. So universe, is there anything else for this Two of Swords? Yeah. This person definitely feels like they've made mistakes with you, and they're wanting to undo those mistakes. They feel like whatever it was that caused them to enter a place of being distant from you was a mistake, and they're regretting it for sure. Let's get you, because I'm already at like 21 minutes here. Yeah, this person is going through a time for healing. They're going through a time where they are healing, but this new start is coming. Possibly around the new moon, which is coming up soon. I've been seeing too a strong influence that it could be around your birthday that this person reaches out to you, because that's a pretty solid excuse to reach out to somebody, is at their birthday. But the new moon, I believe, is coming out on the 23rd of the month, which is like just a few days from now. And then a personal issue reaches resolution. So this is, so it could be that something is seeded at the new moon, and then it comes to fulfillment at the full moon, which is 2 weeks after. All right, guys, I hope that this has helped you. I'm going to move into the extended. If this resonated with you, please hit like and subscribe, comment down below, and we'll talk to you soon.